for that.
Any questions about anything?
No.
Now you know at the end of it's just love and compassion. It's just love and compassion. It's just love and compassion.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Good. Okay. Get ready to get? We have time?
Yes, we do.
Okay.
One time.
It'll be more like. Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 1, 2, yeah, do that. You got the right to be happy, and you got the right to feel blue. You got the right to keep on pushing. Oh, don't go do no changes if you don't want to. If you're gonna ask for more, get ready to get. See, some people say what they like, and then they live with what they don't like. Once they live with what they don't like, all they do is talk about what they don't like. But if you're gonna ask for more, get ready to get. Let's get ready.
Get ready, 'cause the universe is hurt.
Now if you say it,
If you say it
and you believe it,
true,
God can't help it what you do and you see what it is what you say.
Yeah.
And what you say has got to be. And if you think you wanna move a little higher, speak your word and the truth will set you. If you're gonna ask for more, get ready to get. Can you show them in? Yeah! It's called My One. It's a song of devotion.
Okay, from so we're trying to think of order right now.
Oh, where would the meditative, contemplative type song go?
Well, there's one before, you do one before it and one after it.
Before?
I would do his before and then compassion after.
Okay, so your solo song is the first one.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. And right before the meditation.
I mean, they do it both ways. Sometimes they do it right after.
No, that's well, okay, well, tell me where you, because that's a fine.
The other services, you have an
meditation, and your songs are before and after it.
Oh, I see.
So we're trying to place your song in
compassion
compassion.
or my one.
Whatever order you want to do it in.
I would come back to the solo.
So
what normally happens after the song after meditation?
Talk.
Oh.
After, you were before the talk and after the talk.
Let's do compassion first.
Okay, compassion, your ballad, then, okay, great. Perfect. And on by your hat is your order of service, so you can see that, and your check. Yeah.
Are we masks while we're singing?
Yes.
Groovy, groovy, groovy. Only one thing sound-wise, I'm going to need more piano and monitor, if that makes sense. No? Yeah. But is that going to throw it off in the house?
A little bit, but it's right behind you. Right?
Oh, this is me monitoring. Is that?
But the front
That's the mix right there.
Oh. Okay, that'll be fine.
So whatever you want to have in the mix.
Okay.
you set it.
Where shall I set this?
yeah, 2 minutes.
After.
Yeah.
There's Chef Brad. Yeah. All right, let's do this jam song whenever you're ready, Randy. All right, this little light of mine, we need Lane.
Oh, she's over.
Lane, 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 Lane. Everybody, we got a new congregational song. Y'all know it. This little light of mine. Here we go. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Every day, 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 every day. Gonna let my little light shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Every day, 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 every day. Gonna let my
Use this one. Yeah, until we figure it out. Good to see you all this morning. Good to be back. How many were? I was up in the land of Mile High. It's up there. I actually had some altitude. I said, Edith, I think it's the big one. No, it was just the high one. That's all. Oh, my goodness. So much going on, so much going on. I just can't even imagine. The world, you know, they have a volcano on Sicily, Mount Etna. It's the active volcano, so there's heat rising from it all the time. It was hotter at the beach in Sicily than it was standing next to the active volcano. 119 degrees. Ooh, warmest temperature ever on record in Europe. Just did the numbers on July worldwide, 62.1 degrees. Warmest July in the history of keeping records on the average temperature of the planet. Haiti, shaken, got two hurricanes back-to-back barreling down on it. It's a crazy world. COVID is still raging. It's a crazy world. Are you guys doing your treatment work?
Yes.
We need to really double down on knowing the truth, that this is just a fake thing, that there's a reality that is deeper than all of this, and there's something about our individualized consciousness working together in tandem with all the others that is creating this law of averages that looks like evil and bad. But we know that there is a universe of good and power and presence that we can apply to our lives that can move and shift this stuff. We know it can happen. We have to much believe it can happen and work toward making it happen. Are you tired of wearing masks? Right? Are you tired of hearing about variants? Are you tired of hearing about the kind of stories I was just talking about? We can do something about this. Get out of your ICE car. You know what ICE car is? It's not a cool car like what Ron drives. ICE car, internal combustion engine car. Get out of that car. Get into your electric car. They're working on the batteries. They're figuring out how to get rid of that stuff, you know. But it's easier to control one source of pollution than everybody driving their own individual pollution machine. So there are all kinds of things that we can do. And it's hard. The being responsible and sustainable in the life today, it is so hard. You know, I want to reduce my impact on the planet, so I try to shop responsibly, but then I go to buy something and they got this kryptonite package that it's in where I got to put blowtorches to it and get an acetylene to get through it, and then they won't even recycle that plastic. So it's just crazy what we have to work on, but I truly believe that we can do this. I think there's not a capacity. And this teaching is powerful for helping us do it because we have the power of the mind. It is done unto you as you believe. How do you believe it should be? Different? Do I have any yeses on that?
Yes. Yeah.
Then if we believe it, let's make it so. Our vision and our mission statement allows us to make it so because we have a truth that we understand that we can utilize each and every day. And here it is. Put it to work. We're community, inclusive, loving, and authentic. We celebrate all paths to God in gratitude, empowering self and others. We serve compassionately through outreach, inspiration, and education. That's who we are. That's why we're here. And here's what we do. We pray. Come on, John. Jump into a song. We pray. It's a song like that.
Yeah. That's
So let's do it. Let's pray. This is what I know. There is one wisdom in, through, and as everything. That one wisdom in, through, and as each one in this congregation here today, each one watching on live stream, each one brings that unique wisdom to this gathering. We know that when we open wide the door to accept whatever appears in our life, that wisdom is revealed. That whatever appears is accepted, opens the door to a greater wisdom, to a greater knowing, to greater understanding. And so what I know is that this gathering today, this service is already a success. That each word that is spoken, each song that is sung, reveals wisdom. grateful for this knowing, grateful for this understanding. I release my word into the law. And so it is.
So it is. Holy, 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 holy. Holy, 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 holy. Holy, holy, holy. Spirit within me, moving through me, living as me. Holy, 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 holy. We are holy, 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 holy. Holy, holy, holy. Spirit within me, moving through me, living as me. Holy, 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 holy. We are holy, 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 holy. Holy, 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 holy. Holy, 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 holy. We are holy, 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 holy. Holy, 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 holy,
So my reading today, the subject today is wisdom at play. And I've been reading a book by actually someone I know from the work, and it's titled My Guru Cancer. And it's about her, it's by Bethany Webb, and it's about her experience with cancer, and she was on Facebook sharing the whole experience. But what the book is really about is meeting every experience in our life with an open receptivity, to be able to see that even something that seems a tragedy can be good. So I'm going to read one little excerpt where something in her life seemed like it was a disaster, but, well, we'll see how it goes. It's about her godson. It was an honor to be this amazing child, in this amazing child's life. I was the lucky one. Family doesn't have to come from blood, it comes from love. I remember the exact moment I fell head over heels in love with this young boy. We had just visited my family in Florida, where Naona had been able to meet his new set of grandparents, aunts, uncles, and cousins. Travis, that was her husband, Nye, and I were the last to board the plane back to Dallas, and then noticed Nye's backpack was gone. In it laid his most precious possession, Cuddle Cow. This blue and white striped stuffed animal with one ear that doubled as a pacifier had been in Naona's life since he was born. It was his security blanket. He couldn't sleep without it. Now it was somewhere back in the restaurant in the airport terminal. Oh, crap. The airplane doors were closing. It was too late to grab the bag and make the flight. In a frantic state, Travis said, "Sorry, buddy, it looks like Cuddle Cow is gone." He continued to beat himself up about saying this afterwards. But it totally led to my supermom moment. I looked into Naona's innocent eyes and saw the tears welling up. My heart literally exploded with compassion and love for him. Then a fierce mama bear energy, an energy I always longed for but didn't believe I had, arose within me. No, I'm getting Cuddle Cow. You guys stay here. I'll catch a later flight. Neona's teary sweet eyes slowly looked up at me in relief and hope. Travis said, "We're coming with you." And we made quite a fun spectacle, jumping off the plane together as a family on a mission. We found Cuddle Cow and spent the rest of the day cuddled up together, laughing and eating chips and salsa at the airport's on the border Mexican cantina. It was the best ending of our family vacation and a new beginning of an even deeper relationship with this amazing little man. I felt beyond grateful to have him in my life. He showed me how to be silly and have fun with whatever life brings. Life is a park, our playground. He helped me to get out of my head and into my heart. Geez, kids are the ones who teach us. They are the free ones, enjoying life, living in the present moment. You can follow her on Facebook. She's continuing to deal with her cancer, and it's inspiring. When she meets people and they say, "Oh, how terrible," she says, "It's the best thing that could ever have happened to me." I'm getting used to this new order of we've turned art around, so it's now tra. We do it the other way. So here's the affirmation for today. I'll read it once and then we'll read it together. My playtime is God time, during which I express life freshly, freely, and creatively. All together?
My playtime is God time, during which I express life freshly, freely, and creatively. Thank you, John. We're in for a treat this morning. Our musical guest today is the talented, multi-talented Ray Davis.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, CSLSimiValley.
Morning.
Y'all doing good? You look cute. Masters and everything. So I like that affirmation. This particular song is about compassion. But I want to emphasize something that is really going to be happening up here live. Play. Musicians, when we work, we play. Our play is our work. You dig? And the cool thing about it is, we've never played before together. But as long as we have a kind of common objective, all is well. And in the space of structure, there's all this room for improvisation and surprise. Even surprising mistakes that turn into beautiful things. So I'm offering this as a support for the affirmation and a way of saying that it really does show up in form. All of us have our different ways of playing, but it is our specific way of expressing the living one as us that shows up as play. You know what I mean? We don't have to be so doggone serious about everything.
Right.
Yeah, let's enjoy this. So this is a song called Compassion. In other words, instead of just giving a bunch of advice, let's just know the truth about each other.
Yeah, yeah.
You got the tempo. Perfect. 1, 2, 1, 2. So much that soon tea was tepid and forgotten. The fear said, this time I think he's gone for good. So in my mind I'm wondering, should I say this or that or not? Then suddenly the silence right when everything was quiet. I knew what was needed. blessing, he was totally besotted. The fear more, he's only toying with my heart. So now I'm wondering how to start to unstop a mind that's collided. And in the silence, right, everything was quiet. I knew what was needed, just love and compassion. Fear, binding, blinding fear. Fear no longer speaks through me. Oh no, it's love, love right now and here. It clearly covers all I see. I see you now. I see true now. All is well. I forgot to mail the check today. Tomorrow someone's rightful pay will not be in their possession. Sometimes I feel like such a simple-minded fool. Maybe simply went to school to pursue some safe profession. But in the silence, right, everything is quiet. I know what is needed. Just love and compassion. Just love and compassion. Compassion. It's just love and compassion. Love and compassion. Yeah.
Ray Davis.
Yes.
Thank you, Ray.
Okay, for the gap this week, I have a truly special treat for you. I was able to do a group meditation with a set of truly natural meditators, and they gave me permission to actually record a video. So we're going to share that video of these really natural group meditators just this past week. Are we ready to go back there? Here we go. just wanted to mention that it is not necessary if you're in a group meditation for you all to face the same direction. That was just their practice. They also said that you're welcome to join them on the arroyo any day of the week. Namaste.
Thank you, John. Okay, Ray, why don't we come back up? Another beautiful song by Ray.
In Jewish mysticism, there's a concept and a word that is used, a Shekhinah. And the Shekhinah is the feminine, energetic expression of the living one. The Shekhinah dwells within. This song is a song of devotion, of one who looks around and sees the Shekhinah dwelling everywhere. It's a song of devotion, of love. It's called My One. From the fading light of the evening to the growing glow of the day, I am perfectly, perfectly held in your hands, my one. And as the sun ascends to its glory and in beauty gives its rays, I stay surrounded, for in you I live, move, have my being. Do I love you, my one? I do. There is none to love but you. There is nothing that can undo my love for you, my one. If I feel afraid for my future, or believe that no one really cares, still I'm perfectly, perfectly held in your hands, my one. So whether I ascend in bright ecstasy or fall in dark despair, I'm there surrounded, for there's nowhere where your love can't find me. Do I love you, my one? I do. There is none to love but you. There is nothing that can undo my love for you, my one, my one.
Yeah, Ray. So beautiful.
Green light. Great book, by the way. Doesn't pay me for this. Great book, though. Green light. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Maybe it's not synced. I'll leave it with you. You can have it. I don't want it. I don't want it. That's what play is all about. That's how the kids do it. Wisdom at play. Oh my gosh, I was out at Huntington Gardens yesterday, and there was this little kid who was walking across the bridge. Mom wanted him to walk across the bridge, and he was like, I don't want to walk across the bridge. She says, well, why don't we just skip and count and 3 and 2 and 3? And he was just like, oh, skip. Yeah, okay, I'll play. And skipped across the bridge. Everything was fine. Got on the other side, was screaming, yeah, victory. Wisdom at play. Play is a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. So I thought I would talk about it. And as I was thinking about this talk title, it came to me that it's kind of a double meaning there. Wisdom at play, wisdom playing in our lives, and wisdom happens as a result of us playing with our lives. And I love the analogy you were making about how many folks get paid to play. That's great. You get paid to play. Now we pay some people to play a lot of money. Those ball players get a lot of money to get paid to play. I think we should call this job pay. Everybody should call your job play. Everybody should call your job play. And then when your boss says, why do you want to raise it? Well, they gave those guys a lot of money for playing. So give us a lot of money for playing. That's wisdom at play for you right there. And it works because, America, we got a crazy work ethic. It's absolutely nutty. I fall victim to it all the time. 2 of my dear friends sitting in the congregation said, oh, I'm so glad you're going to take a couple of weeks off. I'm going to take a couple of weeks off. Because I fall into that. And even at 2 weeks, I was thinking, oh, can I take 2 weeks in a row? Americans, what is wrong with us? In Europe, 4 to 6 weeks. Germany, 6 weeks. Paid vacation. Where? Gregory, board president. They get 6 weeks of paid vacation. Where's the treasurer? Paid vacation. Talking to the board. They got the purse strings. I get to talk, but they got the purse strings. They got the power, And then and in COVID, of course, COVID put us into a deep, deep work thing. You guys should know better than to put something in front of me. This is like, Tangent City. Okay, I won't touch it. You get some sounds up? You get some rim shots, all that stuff? There you go, So we have this, and there's as a result of how much we work, there's this tension that gets created for us. There's this tension between work and play where, because of the ethos of our country and our culture, we feel like there's something wrong with us if we decide to take some time off to play. But the reality is, if we want to really get down into the wisdom space of life, we must go into that play, because play opens us up. Play opens up space for creativity, for vision. It opens up space for time and for grace to fall into our lives. And I love grace. Grace, it's that thing that makes life sweet. There's a book that came out a few years ago. Sue Monk Kidd wrote a book called, was it Bees? Something about bees. Anybody remember that? No, not. Was it The Life of Bees? Something about bees. Secret Life of Bees. Yes, Secret Life of Bees. And in one of the scenes, one of the characters who's just having a hard time in her life, she says, I wish somebody would just ring the bell and dab some grace on my poor soul. I wish somebody would call a time out from work and dab some grace on our hard-working souls. It's a good thing to do, because play is what makes life art. It's the human art. My brother has a thing that he does all the time. When he sees something creative, he goes, I smell art. When we're at play, we get to smell art. In the shamanistic cultures, when people become bored, sad, or depressed, when they become overburdened, and they go to see the shaman might say to them, when did you stop dancing? When did you stop singing? When did you stop telling enchanted stories and be entertained by enchanting stories? When did you stop finding comfort in silence? When you stopped doing that, you stopped playing. And you stopped a form of wisdom from showing up in your life. There was this town in somewhere in Eastern Europe, and everybody in the town was super depressed, really down. And they sought out some support. They were looking for some help. And an Hasidic rabbi was known for his wisdom. And so he was sent to this town to help them to raise their level of life joy. And they all were prepared with their questions. They knew the guy was coming. They were ready. They had lists, scrolls, like they took the CVS receipt and wrote on the back. It was long, you know. You know what I'm talking about. Somebody need to tell them about the sustainability of the planet. You know, you could just hit button and email the receipt to somebody. Don't need you to print that thing out anymore. Anyway, back to the Hasidic story in Eastern Europe. So here are these people. They're all sad, and they're going through their stuff. And he comes to a gathering. They decide to have a communal dinner, and they're in the communal hall for the big dinner. And after the dinner's over, they're ready. He walks up to the podium, and everybody's sitting with bated breath. And he begins to hum. Then he starts dancing. And he walks up to the front and he grabs somebody and he says, "Come on, let's start dancing." And everybody's just dancing before long. The whole hall, they're all dancing and they're singing, they're making up songs and all kinds of stuff, and it just goes on. It's like getting late. It's like 11 o'clock. That's late for them because they start early in the day when the sun rises. Slowly, he started slowing down, and he went back to humming, and then he sat everybody down. Then he looked at him and said, "I hope I've answered all of your questions." There's a wonderful philosopher, one of my favorites. His name is Anonymous. He says, while we don't have to abandon our boundaries, it's good to take a risk and let go. It can be, and it's called fun or play. He helped that town to let go. The shaman's asking questions to ask us to let go. Parts of the world are modeling a way of being that allows us to let go, to get into play. Are you willing to let go? Are you willing to make the shift to experience more joy, to make the shift from making work your focus to making play your focus? Now, it's legit. We got to get our bills paid. This is how we do it, right? But can we do it with not the mission to get the promotion, which is not bad. I'm not against promotions. I like upward mobility. But can we do it with the idea that this is going to support my play? This is going to support my joy. This is going to support my fun in life. Because life is good. Life is to be enjoyed. And it's not to be down and trodden about the burden of gotta get it done on time, punch the clock 8 to 5. I'm not against productivity, but I'm thinking the wisdom that has come from me thinking about this talk this week is that if we played a little more, our productivity may go up. They found this out in Silicon Valley. That's why they got foosballs and ping pong tables in the office. It seems to work out if we just played a little bit more. Because it is our joy, it's our mission, it's our innate desire to express the spiritual beings that we are through play. Why do we make it so hard? Growth can happen not just from work, but it can happen from play. I'm taking this course on somatic abolitionism. Somatic abolitionism. It's the idea that we have racialized trauma in our bodies that can be released through play. And the teacher of this class has given us a number of tools to work with. But he renamed the tools toys, because he wants us to take the tools and play with the process. Think about this. Instead of thinking about prayer as being work, how about think about prayer as a toy? As a toy that you can pull out of your toy box and allow more joy to come into your life through play. Can we move and shift to that direction? There's a really sweet book. It's called How to Think Like Da Vinci. How to Think Like Leonardo da Vinci. Michael Gelb wrote the book. Wonderful book. And in this book, it was sparked by him going to see a juggler. Now, he's watching this juggler, and he sees the balls up in the air. And he notices the pattern that the balls that are in the air are making while the one is coming down to the juggler's hand and the other two are up in the air. And this movement was this. What is that? Infinity. Infinity. And it hit him at that very moment to see the world in a grain of sand and heaven in the wildflower and hold infinity in the palm of your hand and eternity in an hour. Here was a guy standing in front of him doing Blake, holding infinity in the palm of his hand through joy, through play, through juggling. How about that? It may seem hard to learn how to juggle. I know, because our dear Reverend Rob, who did a great job last week, by the way, thank you very much, I did notice, tried to teach me how to juggle. I still don't know how to juggle. But I have not stopped trying, because it seems hard. But it's not impossible. It just seems near impossible. I can learn it. You can learn it. Doesn't matter what your gender or what your age or what your mental capacity is. You can figure this thing out. You can become a good juggler. And conversely, we can become a good juggler in life itself. My dear friend Rod Carter wrote a book called Thinking is a Great Way to Travel. And in it he says, the lesson here is the same may be true for other impossibilities you have avoided. The lesson of juggling is that other impossibilities you have avoided are not impossibilities at all. They're impossibles. You can do them. But we must bring a sense of joy and lightness and levity. That's where the wisdom comes in. It's not making it hard, making it a toy, not a tool, a toy, something that can be fun. And once that skill is gained, so when you're trying it, I mean, I know, because I've tried this thing over here, and it's a lot of work in the beginning. You know, I didn't have this concept of making it play. It seemed a lot of work, but it's sure like he was having a good time. Like she's having a good time all the time, playing with the keyboard. John was teaching me guitar, and trying to separate my fingers to play that guitar was crazy. But once I got it down a little bit, it started to be fun. It started to be play. It seemed impossible, but the pain went away. And when the pain goes away, the experience becomes wisdom. There's a definition of wisdom. Wisdom is experience with no pain. Experience with no pain. Doesn't mean that we don't have a little pain along the way. It may be challenging along the way. But when you're sitting there one day and you come home from work and you're stressed out and you decide, I think I'm just going to sit in front of the keyboard and kick a song out. Now you've got wisdom. The wisdom that said, here's a pastime I can do that'll bring me some joy. Right? So there's a lot of value in this process of moving from work to wisdom. Really fun stuff helps us to grow. Fun stuff helps us grow. And the lessons are here in life. I found some interesting facts about play. Deer play hide and seek. Young deer play hide and seek. If you have a pet at home, you see them play, right? Our little Kiki, our new cat. Gosh, you guys, have you watched? I've become a cat person. And Kiki just brings me to tears. She's so much joy. She climbed the orange tree yesterday, and I called her, and she came down and went in the house. Thank God. Lambs, little lammies, play follow the leader. Crazy. Who knew? Well, this guy named Guy Ritchie knew. He wrote a book called The 7 Mysteries of Life, and it's in that book. It's like 800 pages. He didn't have much to do. Most animals play tag. You see that all the time. A lot of animals that play tag. And badgers. Where's my friend? Christopher Brown. I got a good friend, Chris Brown. He's in Oakland. He watches sometimes. He calls himself the Badger King. Badgers. No wonder you call yourself Badger King. Badgers play King of the Castle. And hippos are my favorites. Hippos, little young hippos, swim underwater. And they look up for a leaf floating on the water. And then they snout. They blow bubbles to hit the leaf and get the leaf up into the air. And then they just do it over and over again. So if you're ever like, on safari and you're thinking, damn, that is a smart leaf. Look at that thing just bouncing up. That's not a leaf bouncing. It's not a smart leaf. It's a fun hippo playing under the water, blowing the leaf up in the air. playing with the leaf. We must have the willingness to play like that, to play with our lives. Now, if you want to go home and jump in your pool, Cheryl, and start blowing leaves out of the hopper, that's fine. You can go do that. He ain't mad at you. But I think we can find other ways to play. But the mission here is this week, the intention for everyone, I'm hoping, I'm setting this for you, is to play. Figure out how to play. Free the goofy part, the carefree part in you. Let that out. When you think, this is wasted time. Oh, that's silly to do that. Yeah, it is silly. It is silly. And you know what? Silly has an etymology that goes back to Old English, a word called salig, or Proto-Germanic word called saliges. I'm blowing the right way of saying it, but I can spell it for you if you want. And that's where the word silly comes from. And those words mean blessed, fortunate, blissful. Those words mean blessed, fortunate, and blissful. Silliness is cool. I can bless myself with silliness. You see, I live a blessed life all the time. You know that. You watch that. Mm-hmm. Meredith Sinclair, she's the guru, the maven of silly and play. She writes books on play. And she says, being playful is a key component to making us happier, healthier, more present, and connected in all of our relationships. All of them. Jump out there. Fun and play is soul food. It's food for the soul. The ego is all focused about work. Work, 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 work. And it's telling you you're not worked long enough and say, get your eyes off that clock. It's not 5 o'clock yet. What are you doing that for? But the soul is living in the sea of joy and abundance. The soul is saying, let's be free. The soul is saying, let's apply some grace to your poor soul. Let's have fun. Let's open things up again. And playful people are the multipliers in life. When these folks play, our feet go tapping. They multiply joy. Players do that. Players are the contemplatives of life. They're the ones that sit around and figure out. There's this new game. There's a new style of game out now. It's competitive but cooperative games. One of them was called Legacy. And the game actually the game is called Pandemic, but it's the legacy version of it. Anybody heard of Pandemic? We've been living under it for 2 years. What do you mean? Where you been? Where you been? Well, it's a game now that you play cooperatively with other people. And you sit together and you make decisions together on what move you will make next, which is a very cool thing to do because that means that if you're the one that has to go up and make the next set of drinks, you can leave the board and they can play for you because you're not really playing by yourself anyway. They're playing for you. Are you following me? Maybe not. Try it out. Look for Pandemic. It's a fun game. I should... Only if you're playing in the sanctuary. And thank you so much for cooperating with that. I know we're going through it, and we're going to keep this up until we get this thing over with. But this idea of play is so powerful, and it helps shift our perspective on life. And the way we see life happens as a result of how we live life. You see, most people do not see things as they are. Most people see things as they are. Are you with me? Most people see things as they are. Most people see things as they are. If you'd like to see things differently, add this level of wisdom to your life to bring joy and play into your everyday experience. You see the world in the conversation right now, in our conversation, in the world. I think we see there's too much focus on work and too little focus on play. We cannot get our leaders to play with each other. I would hate to see them in the sandbox fighting over the Tonka truck when they realize that, somebody needs to load the truck while somebody else is driving the truck. That's called cooperation. That's called play. Right? We can't keep living this either-or existence filled with right or wrong, left and right, up and down, you wrong, I'm right, all of that. That's not play. Nobody can you can't get to the finish line. You're just all going to end up in jail. No pass and go. No collecting $200. These games that we played as kids, Seems like some of our big kids have forgotten those games in the days of how we're living today. The Greeks understood the power of this play thing. They understood it very well. In fact, they knew the secret. They knew that this play was related to learning. And learning, etymology-wise, back again, I'm going to do things wrong here. The Greeks had a word called paideia, paideia, which was play, and another word derived from that called paideia, which is education. Their word for play and the word for education had the same root in them. So this is historical. This is not new stuff. That's the beauty of New Thought. We haven't had a new thought in New Thought since New Thought began. But we have a really unique way of arranging old thoughts so they seem new. Don't tell anybody, but that's our secret. Like the Greeks held this secret of learning by putting play and education all within the same word. This is how we feed our souls. This is how we lift the tide of humanity by adding a little more joy. This is the wisdom of play coming into your life. Richard Rohr talks about this in his book called Falling Upward. And before we go to the quote, before you go to it, Kathy, because I know when I say Richard Rohr, you get excited. You want to push the button because we both love him so much. This book he's got called Falling Upward. Hold on, let me look in the room. I only see one person who may not be falling upward. See, it's for us on the second half of life. It's for those of us who are thinking, why did I come into the kitchen again? All of that stuff. I thought until I read that book, I thought there was something wrong with me. If you do that, there is something so right with you. We are so ready for play because, see, what's happening is our brain is downloading useless information, like you came in to make iced tea, for deeper information. I have space to contemplate because I have forgotten some stuff that's not necessary for me to remember. You think I'm lying? I ain't lying. I ain't flying and I ain't lying. It's the truth. That's what I'm here to tell you, the truth, right? This is soul information. This is fun food for the soul. Here's what Richard Rohr says. Soulful people. Now she's not going to hit the button for me. Now she's going to leave me hanging. Don't leave me hanging. Just let me sit right here. Do, 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 do. Ah. Soulful people. Soulful people. And you all are soulful people. We temper our tantrums by their calm. They temper tantrums by their calm. They lessen urgency by their peace. They exhibit a world of options and alternatives when all the conversation turns into dualistic bickering. We see plenty of dualistic bickering in the world, and I contend that we can be the ones that can bring that calm. We can ease the tantrums. We can lessen the urgency. We can bring about more peace because we know that there are options and alternatives when we dive into play, when we dive into the space of wisdom that allows us to move to a new way. Get wisdom. Go out and play. Why wait? Why wait? And make a list. You think, there may be a moment where you're like called. I need to go do something right now to get this energy out of me. Make a list so that when that moment comes, you don't have to figure out what to do. You just look at the list. I have several lists. In one of my lists, I just call the number out, 7, and it just tells me what to do. Iron. Okay, cool. Because for me, that works. Now, don't call me over to play ironing for you because I have I'm exclusively hired out by Johanna Van Gelder, and it's an exclusive contract. I can't work for nobody else. I'm hers. But that's on my list. Number 9 on my list, do the dishes. I know. I got some weird things called play, but I have a great time doing the dishes. I sing, I dance, I make a big mess, I splash water all over the floor, and then I mop. Because the floor's already wet. It's great. It's called play. It's inherent in children, and if you play enough, you will be, as Jesus said, be like the children. Don't be childish, but be childlike, right? This is it. We were doing a book study at Founder some years ago, and we were doing book page by page through the Science of Mind textbook, and this friend of mine, a guy named Sir Frederick, we called him. he's looking through it, and he's reading about treatment. And he reads it, and he goes, damn, I'm working too hard. Our teaching teaches us and shows us in the pages, in the white fire of the black fire on the page. It teaches us. If you don't know white fire and black fire, come to Poetry or Spiritual Practice. You'll hear about that. You'll learn about it. But it teaches us that we work too hard sometimes. Our faith is about trust. Our trust is about conviction. Our conviction is about knowing. Our knowing is about experience without pain. Therefore, it is about wisdom. When we dive into the wisdom of science of mind, we come to understand that we don't have to work so hard to manifest the good in our lives. Again, time to play. If I'm not working hard, why not play a little bit? Seek joy. That's what Spirit wants for us anyway. And laughter is absolutely the best medicine, and it's the best food for the soul. See, we exist, you exist, so that divine feeling of fire and imagination and creativity may be expressed by means of you. Dr. Holmes says the Spirit comes to you with a new and fresh creativity. It comes to you with a new and fresh creativity. Be yourself and express life as you find it. Be yourself and express life as you find it, and you'll find it when you're at play, when you find it when you're using wisdom. You'll find it in the activities of your life, and you'll find it as your life. And so it is. So let's make this affirmation come alive right now. Here it is for you. It says, my playtime is God time, during which I express life freshly, freely, and creatively. Post that somewhere today. Tell it to somebody. Share it with another. Indeed. Oh, it's so good to be back home. Went to, as you know, I went to Colorado, and it was a fun experience. I don't know if you had a chance to watch it. It's on their page, and they have a gong there, and I got to ring it. And I think before long we'll have a gong here because it was just so nice. It was a lot of fun. We have one? Dr. Dennis took the gong with him. Let's just go to prayer. Let's just go straight to prayer. Let's do the revealing prayer right here and now, and I'll be calling Dr. D right after this saying, where's our gong? Bring it back. All right. In this moment of prayer, what we know is we don't need to work that hard. We can make it play. We can make it joy. And we can make our life real and lift it up to a new level of understanding. Hold in your consciousness right now what it is that you feel and know as your truth, what you see happening, what you want to know is happening for someone in your life or for yourself. And here we go. For I know there is this divine spirit and this presence that is totally available to us right here and right now because we are it right here and right now. Individualized expressions of the only thing that is our unique space in this time and place puts us in a unitive experience to lift humanity. Yes, yes, through this word and through this prayer, we can bring more harmony into our personal relationships. We can find just that right job opportunity to use our skills and our talents effectively. We can heal whatever situation may be causing us a pain or a hurt or an ache, be it physical, spiritual, or emotional. Yes, we can do all of that. And through what we believe and how we see things as we are, so that they appear as they are more effectively for all, we can use our consciousness to lift up the collective experience of life. So we don't need to continue to wear masks. So we don't need to continue to hear about people's villages burning up in the heat of a planet that is rising up in temperature. We can pull the wisdom of the divine through the individualized expressions that we are to come up with the solutions, the answers, and the ways that bring in, I won't say an end, but bring a new way, a new beingness for us all. So in this moment of prayer and in this moment of recognition, I call on each and every one of us to live the truth of our being and express the reality of our lives through our consciousness and know that what we know is that good is the impulse of life, that love is the givingness of the universe, and that law is the way it operates. And as we affirm this truth for each and every one of us, we make our lives more joyous, more whole, and more complete. So I give it all over to the law right now that knows exactly what to do. Yes, and get about the business of getting it done. And so it is.
So it is.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, so let's move down the line. Where are we? Go away 1 week, forget everything. This is where we practice the law of circulation. We have so much, look at this technology stuff we can do here to support our community. Lane, you did a wonderful job last week. Thank you so much for your announcement, and I love what we're doing to get rid of our rent debt. We've done so well during COVID. I talked to a lot of other ministers, and I go on these minister listservs, they call them, and conferences and conversations with them, and so many of our centers are struggling. We're not struggling, folks. We've done really well for ourselves. We do have $20,000, actually it's now $18,000 because we got $2,050 that we've put together toward retiring this debt without going into our reserves. We have some reserves. We could pay the landlord off tomorrow, but we would take it out of our reserves. And it's our emergency money when we need to do something that's really urgent for us or something that's really special for humanity, right? But if we're just making the day-to-day bills, I think we can dig a little deeper, have one less Starbucks. You know, you think about it. When you're growing up, I mean, I remember cigarettes were 50 cents a pack. And gas was, I won't tell you what the lowest price gas was. I remember because it'll make me too old. But I remember when it was under $1, 55. Mm-hmm. Crazy, right? So I say that to say, you know, if you've been putting in $20 on the plate each week for the last years, $20 in 1975 is equivalent in value and worth to $68.50 today. Things change. We can do this. We can easily knock out this little $20,000. Just we can make it go away. Let's make it go away so that we can, when the room gets to fill up all again, we can begin with a clean slate and start moving in a new direction for our center. Maybe this is not where our future is. Maybe this will become where our past is. Who knows what's in store for us? But if we can get to zero, we're going somewhere. Do you know that 6 years ago when I came here, we were bleeding money, folks. We had monthly deficits in the teens of thousands of dollars. We don't have that anymore. We had bills that were 120 days overdue. We don't have that anymore because you guys have stepped up. You guys have stepped up. Let's keep stepping up. I remember when I first got here, I said, how many of you have grown children living at home? How many of those grown children pay rent? How many of those grown children do you want to pay rent? We're 30 years old. We're a grown kid. We need to pay our own way, and we're doing it. And thank you for doing it. Let's keep doing it, and here's some of the ways to do it. And we can affirm it with this statement right here. Ready? Divine love. It's doing its perfect work here and now. Divine love harmonizes. Divine love adjusts. Divine love prospers. Divine love foresees everything and richly provides every good thing for CSLSimiValley. Now, divine love is victorious. Love that part. Okay, here are the announcements coming up for you. Sherry's going to play that beautiful gratitude song. Such a sweet song. Are you going to publish that one?
I think I could.
I hear now that our Sherry Deeds is a published musician.
Writer.
BMI registered and all that stuff. That's cool. Making it. And Pat Schaefer and Greg Schaefer will be holding the baskets for you and going up and down the aisles. Thank you so much for your contributions. Let them rip.
I am so very grateful that wisdom has revealed that what resides in these baskets is support for us to play and for others to play with us. And so it is.
Okay, one final song from Ray. And this one's gonna talk about play. This is fun play.
Yeah. Y'all might, I don't know if you've gotten too comfortable in those seats, but you might want to move off of them for this. So here's a little lyric for you. You've got the right to be happy. You got the right to feel blue. You got the right to keep on pushing, or don't go through no changes if you don't want to. But if you're going to ask for more, get ready to get. We got to count? Relax just a little bit. Hold. Just a little adjustment. Just a little bit slower. Done. Two. One. Two. There. Yeah. Well, you got the right to be happy, and you got the right to feel blue. You got the right to keep on pushing, or don't go through no changes you don't want to. But if you're gonna ask for more, get ready to get. Yeah, you can get on up. See, some people say if they don't like, and then they live with what they don't like. But once they live with what they don't like, shout all they want to is talk about what they don't like. Oh, if you're gonna ask for, get ready to get. Well, get ready.
Get ready when you say the word.
Just get ready.
Get ready 'cause the universe is hurt.
'Cause if you say it,
Say
you
it
believe it.
true.
God can't help it. What you do to you. See what it is what you say.
Yeah.
And what you say has got to be.
Well.
So if you think you're gonna move a little higher, speak your word and the truth will set you free. 'Cause if you're gonna ask for more, get ready to get. Hey John, you got something for? Huh? Hey, get ready.
Get ready when you say the word.
Let's get ready.
Get ready 'cause the universe is hurt.
'Cause if you say it,
You say
and you
it
really believe it,
it's true.
well, God can't help it. What you do in it, see what it is what you say.
Yeah.
And what you say has got to be. So if you think you wanna move a little higher,
Yeah.
speak your word and the truth will set you free. If you're gonna ask for more,
If you're gonna ask for
if you're gonna ask for more, if you're gonna ask for more, get ready to get.
Right on.
Get
Ray
ready.
Davis.
Ready with Ray. Get ready with Ray. Come here, man. Come here. Give me some. Glad to have you here, baby. Woo! Yes, indeed. I feel sharper just touching up against that suit. Everyone dressed up. That's beautiful. Get ready. They're looking good. Oh, flash, this just in. The news is we have a demonstration. Patty Justice has the gong. Patty Justice this is flowing on Facebook. She wrote a comment. I have the gong. So we have the gong. That's the way to work it. Yes, indeed. So grateful for. That's right. That's right. We got ready. We got it coming on. Oh, thank you so much, Peter. We had Peter Lambert and Pat and Greg Schaefer and Mona Sandoval, our service team for today. Thank you so much for that. My fellow Richard Rohr fan, Kathy Burt, on the slides in the background, running that movie. The L's and the Soul Purpose Band. Thank you, Randy, John, Steve, and Sherry Deeds. Beautiful for that. Gregory's in the booth, and Darlene, the dancing camera operator, up on the platform. And oh, that's right, our special group meditators at the Arroyo, hanging out. What kind of birds were those? Oh, were they seagulls? They want ibis. Well, he's always knows. And John Bellis, who will be available for you. John Bellis. John Newbill, who will be available for you. He's not available. But this one is. Yeah. This John is available for prayer. He'll be under the exit sign right after the service. He'll take you back into the updated prayer room, which is a really nice, solemn place to get your treatment. A quick, brief treatment, because there'll be others standing in line waiting to come behind you. Okay, I think that's all that I want to do. And Dee, thank you so much for opening up and just always being here and getting everything set up for us. You know, this is our key master here. So she makes sure the place is ready for you and ready to go when we get started. And then holding it all together, new people too. We have new people. I know. Meet the new people. They're here. Karen. Oh, I see. Karen Stelk is reminding me that she will be available to talk to the new people, and she'll be back here by the doors. Thank you, Karen. And holding it all together and doing the kids is the cosmic kid maven herself, Dr. Susan.
And I want to introduce my songbirds. You missed all the frivolity. We have Michelle, and we have Emily.
Yay!
The girls we're going to be dropping hints over the next couple, 3, 4 Sundays, okay? So they're going to give you some hints, and the hints will come into manifestation on September 19th. So just listen to the hints, and maybe by then you can guess what it might be. Okay.
One of my words was breathe, the other one was heart, and the other one was listen, and then the other one was roots.
I tried to choose the hardest ones, of course, but mine is light, eyes, mind, and feelings. That one's not hard at all, but whatever.
So that's our first round of hints. Those are the hints. So, yes. So you get to think about those.
You reminded me of something when you said September, because September 12th is our family day. Now, normally Family Day would be a big picnic and a whole bunch of celebration and bringing foods and eating it all together, but, you know, we've got to shift things up because of that big C word. There's a whole new C word out there now. But here's what we're thinking of doing, celebrating our family. So we're going to start collecting pictures of family members. If you'd like to send your pictures to either to me or to Dr. Susan or to Lane, the three of us, if you have one of our emails or all our emails, start sending your pictures in. We're going to put together a nice demonstration for our Family Day, which is going to be on September 12th. All right, so I wanted to... I don't know. Send in what you want. We'll use what we feel like using. No, send them in. Send them in. We'll figure it out. I'm not worried about it. It's all divine and perfect. I'm not making it happen. You're making it happen. It's going to be beautiful. Beautiful. All right, let's all stand, do our benediction, and we'll sing. Here we go. I'm at home in the heart of God. My life is anchored in truth. I can never be separate. I live in the consciousness of peace. I release all fear. I am living love.
I release, I let go, I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide, 'cause I'm only here for
Poetry Night on Wednesday. It'll be happening here live and also on Zoom. Wednesday for Poetry. See you then.